King and joined four deep by Goldfoot. Goldfoot right up to Hot Legs Romolo as they pass the stands. Caribbean King is just between those two. Followed by Mighty Kai, who's racing one from the rails. Circle of Champions inches up inside Mongolian Altai. Prometeo, who broke well, is second to last, and two more to Hard Mission. They move into the first turn, and it's Hot Legs Romolo showing the way, prompted by Goldfoot, who's a half length back in second. Circle of Champions is tucked in neatly along the rail in the red colors third. They are followed by Caribbean King. The favorite sits in the fourth spot, 3.5 lengths off the lead. Mongolian Altai is next. Mighty Kai under a hole down at the rail. 3/4 to Prometeo and Hard Mission. They're coming to the half-mile pole with Hot Legs Romolo, the target. 3/4 of a length. Goldfoot is in second. Circle of Champions down on the inside. Mongolian Altai takes fourth. Caribbean King fifth. 3.5 off the pace in between rivals. Then it's Mighty Kai, who races on the inside of Hard Mission, who's trying to launch a bid, and Prometeo trails. Hot Legs Romolo takes them around the far turn. Goldfoot, Mongolian Altai, Circle of Champions. Traffic for Caribbean King. He's about to find some room, swinging out for the drive. Top of the stretch, Hot Legs Romolo, still clinging to the lead gamely. Goldfoot a length back second. Then Caribbean King in third, Circle of Champions. Here's Goldfoot right up to Hot Legs Romolo, and Goldfoot takes the lead from him close to home. It's Goldfoot who cruises to a 3/4 of a length upset win. Second to Hot Legs Romolo. Then it was Caribbean King in a battle between Circle of Champions and Prometeo. Led back in. Set. And they're off. Very awkward step for Ever Toriano out of the gate. Eagles Dare is going to the front, and our Bucky Charm sprints through to take over at once. Smoke 'em if you got 'em came away in good order third. Then it's What's the Buzz, 4 off the pace in fourth. Blame the Classic, and Ever Toriano at the back. Juan Hernandez and our Bucky Charm head into the far turn with a 2-length lead. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Outside Eagles Dare battling for second. A gap of 4 back to What's the Buzz. Now it's 5 or 6 to that rival, followed by Blame the Classic and Ever Toriano. They're approaching the quarter pole. Our Bucky Charms, Smoke 'em if you got 'em, clearly second within a half length of the lead. 3 more Eagles Dare in third. They're at the top of the stretch, and our Bucky Charm, strong on the front end, comes to the 8th pole with a 2.5 length lead. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, won't give up, trying his best in second, followed by Eagles Dare in third. 16th to go. Our Bucky Charm is too good. Our Bucky Charm sails to an easy win. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, Eagles Dare, and Blame the Classic. They're in the gate, and they're off. Putt for dough, Quick Kate, Sneaker on the outside, and here's the Shashala. And the Shashala sprints away to take command early on. Sneaker moves into second. Dory Miller now third. Putt for dough settles fourth. Then it's Grease Missile wide into the first turn, followed by Quick Kate, who's down at the rail, and another 3 to the favorite, Safa. Around the clubhouse turn, and it's the Shushala leading by a half length, pressed by Sneaker. Those two have pulled 3 clear of Dory Miller in third. Then it's Grease Missile fourth with 4 to make up, followed by Putt for Dough outside Quick Kate, and Tyler Bay's unhurried on Safa at the back, 7 lengths off the pace, coming to the half-mile pole, where the Shushala is the leader still by about a neck, with Sneaker alongside second, 2 more, Dory Miller in third. At the rail, Quick Kate, Putt for Dough is racing in between horses, Grease Missile outside of them, and Safa still 6 off the lead. Around the far turn, it's Sneaker and the Shashala, stride for stride. Dory Miller, Grease Missile losing ground now. And here's Safa. Safa unwinding a big run on the far outside. Has a lot of work to catch Sneaker as they turn for home. It's Sneaker in front by 3. Dory Miller, Safa in the center of the course. Quick Kate coming through in the red. They're a furlong out. And it's Sneaker with a 3-length lead. Safa is closing, running out of time. Sneaker 2.5 close to home. Sneaker, Safa coming, but out of time. Sneaker gives Kyle Frey a double. Safa was second best. Then it was Quick Kate third, followed by Dory Miller and Putt for Dough. Big cap winner goes in. And they're off. The Chosen Vron with a very smooth start. Goes out to battle for the early lead. Happy Jack is right with him and puts his head in front. And here's the speedy Forbidden Kingdom coming through at the rail. Express Train is close up. And just behind this group is Prince Abu Dhabi, only 2 lengths off the lead. The 2 trailers are see-through it. And Zeus's War at the back. Forbidden Kingdom passes the 4.5 furlong point, leading it by a length to the Chosen Vron in second. Then Prince Abu Dhabi and Happy Jack, followed by Express Train, kept well out off the rail, 4 lengths off the lead. 3 more to see through it, and Zeus's War. It's Forbidden Kingdom. The Chosen Vron comes right to him. Less than 3 furlongs to go, and the Chosen Vron is in front. Happy Jack moves up to take second. Forbidden Kingdom third. Express Train running nicely on the outside fourth. 3 lengths off the lead as the field turns for home. The Chosen Vron and Happy Jack are head and head. The Chosen Vron at the rail. Happy Jack making him work hard. These 2 are 4 clear of Express Train in third. And now the Chosen Vron starts to assert himself coming to the 16th pole. Happy Jack trying so hard in second, but the Chosen Vron is simply the Chosen Vron. And he wins the Kona Gold. Happy Jack second. Express Train third. Then it was Zeus's War and See Through It. The running time, 1:14.82 seconds. Who did a magnificent job training Kona Gold. Up next, race 5, 26 minutes to post. In the gate. And they're off. Smooth start. Tarantino and Hall, 3 brothers up and on the pace. Big Hat Willie moves up to join them. Single Track Mind is there as well. Anmer Hall now backs off. Lahina Flavor 6 lengths off the lead on the outside of Incredible Shot, and Kimmer trails. 3 brothers takes him into the first turn, 2-length lead. Big Hat Willie tracks from second. Incredible Shot on the rail is 6 lengths off the lead. Tarantino currently third. They're followed by Anmer Hall. Single Track Mind has 5 to make up as they swing on to the backstretch. Lahina Flavor, the trailer, is Kimmer. The uncontested leader is 3 brothers onto the backstretch. Big Hat Willie comfortable second. Anmer Hall on the rail is in third. Then it's Single Track Mind taking fourth with Tarantino along the rail. In fifth, under a nice hold, is Tarantino with less than a half mile to travel, has 5 lengths to make up. Lahina Flavor, Incredible Shot, and 3 to Kimmer. Into the far turn. 3 brothers still there. Big Hat Willie second most of the journey. Anmer Hall, Single Track Mind, 3.5 to make up. Then it's Tarantino along the inside, fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. Lahina Flavor is next. Another 2 back to Incredible Shot. And at the back, it's Kimmer. Big Hat Willie makes his move for the lead at the top of the stretch. In the center of the course, Lahina Flavor is coming alive late. Anmer Hall has arrived. Single Track Mind in the center and down at the rail. Tarantino, Big Hat Willie, 1.5 lengths. Anmer Hall, Single Track Mind. Lahina Flavor battling for the exacta. Big Hat Willie, a double for Hernandez. Anmer Hall won that battle for second. Then it was a photo for third. Single Track Mind and Lahina Flavor. And they're off. Good Vibes only one of the first away. Here's Lansdowne coming through along the fence, and Lambo's a little bit quicker. So it will be Lambo and Lansdowne going at it through the opening furlong. Top Gun Tommy well placed in third. Then it's Midnight Fury, 3 off the pace in fourth. Trusty Rusty is down on the inside. Good Vibes only, the Little H-Man, and 3-2 Elector. It's Lansdowne heading toward the 3 furlong pole. Pressed by Lambo, a neck away second. Top Gun Tommy, Midnight Fury in the lime colors. Yellow Cap of Good Vibes only making a little bit of headway as they move around the far turn. The Little H-Man is on the extreme outside. Trusty Rusty is down on the fence as Midnight Fury is losing ground. Elector at the back. Top Gun Tommy makes a bold move at the top of the stretch, and he takes over, shifts in while clearing off to be in front by 3. As Trusty Rusty comes out of the pack to chase him, Lambo and Lansdowne, a 16th to go, and it's lights out. Top Gun Tommy, way too good. Top Gun Tommy wrapped up 3.5 in front. Trusty Rusty second. Lambo, then Lansdowne, and the Little H-Man. "24 minutes to post." And they're off. Even start. Fleet Feet in the center of the racetrack is out very alertly. Also showing speed is Forgiving Spirit. Those two are head and head, and they're joined at the rail by Belmont Bill. And so those three right across the course. Lawless World comes away in fourth, followed by Tigaron racing in mid-pack, 4 lengths off the lead. Cali Bay is next, racing 3 lengths in front of On the Whim. It's another 4 to stretch running Legislator as they go past the half-mile pole. And on the inside, it's Belmont Bill narrowly in front. Fleet Feet is up alongside in second. 1.5 lengths to Forgiving Spirit third. Then Cali Bay inching up widest of all in fourth, followed by Tigaron. On the Whim is next. Behind that group is Legislator. It's a gap of 4 lengths to Lawless World and Short Man there at the top of the stretch, and it's a wide open scramble inside the 8th pole. Here's Cali Bay coming to battle for the lead. Tigaron's had a good trip at the rail, and now Legislator is let loose. And here comes Legislator on the outside. Cali Bay, Legislator, Forgiving Spirit, Tigaron, a driving finish that goes to Legislator. Maybe. He's in a tight photo with Tigaron, very close between those two. Cali Bay was just behind them with Forgiving Spirit. They're in the gate. And they're off. Thompson is going out for the lead. L'Enfant D now sprints up to take over, and Kyle Frey all over American Cat for early foot. Fireman Dan is next. Let the Liquor Talk is on the far outside. Derecho Dandy is toward the back of the field, passed by Handsome Harry in the green, who's only 3 lengths off the lead now. Syntactic is down at the rail, and a 3 wide My Partner Glenn. 7 lengths covers the field, and it is American Cat who takes over, leads it by a length with less than 6 furlongs to travel. L'Enfant D is in second, followed by Thompson third. And then it's Fireman Dan racing in between horses. Let the Liquor Talk is fifth, 5 lengths off the lead. Down at the rail comes Syntactic, right next to Handsome Harry, My Partner Glenn, and Ricky Gonzalez asking Derecho Dandy to pick it up from behind. They pass the half-mile pole behind American Cat, who's leading the way by 2 lengths. L'Enfant D, hard-ridden, trying to respond in second. Another 3 back to Fireman Dan in a strung outfield. Let the Liquor Talk 5 lengths off the pace in fourth. Then Syntactic racing inside My Partner Glenn, and it's a gap of 5 to Derecho Dandy. American Cat with a quarter of a mile to go, maintains a length and a half, now 2-length lead. L'Enfant D couldn't quite get to him. At the rails, Syntactic is rallying while saving ground, and here's Syntactic on the outside. Fireman Dan in the green, widest out. Let the liquor talk. They're in the final furlong. American Cat desperate to hold on. At the rails, Syntactic, and on the outside, Fireman Dan. These are the three. American Cat, Fireman Dan on the outside. Fireman Dan, American Cat. American Cat would not be denied. And that's a triple for Kyle Frey. Fireman Dan, Syntactic, followed by my partner Glenn, and let the liquor talk. Renegade. And they're off in the Royal Heroine. Glenall is out alertly, Stay and Scam, Irresistible Force in between them up close, and Bella Bell comes through along the rail. Those four across the course as they pass the wire the first time. Then it's Miss Lizzie racing on the inside of Uncorked. Fuente Ovejuna is next. The two trailers are Lakota Spirit, and Justique will do her best running later on. Around the clubhouse turn, it's Bella Bell and Glenall, heads apart for the lead. Behind them, Irresistible Force and Miss Lizzie Fort, just 2 lengths off the lead. Stay and Scam relaxed in 5th. It's another 3 back to Uncorked, followed by Fuente Ovejuna. Justique getting going right now. And then it's Lakota Spirit. They have a half-mile left to go in the Royal Heroine Stakes. And they're still heads apart, Bella Bell and Glenall. Irresistible Force 3 deep. At the rail, Miss Lizzie tucked in for 2 lengths off the pacemakers. Stay and Scam and Uncorked follow that rival. Justique is 7 lengths off the lead. On the outside of Fuente Ovejuna and Lakota Spirit. Bella Bell puts away Glenall with a quarter of a mile to go. Justique making a sweeping 5-wide bid. Stay and Scam is just inside of her. They're at the top of the stretch. Stay and Scam at the rail. Uncorked, Justique in the center. Final 1/8 of a mile, and Uncorked up to take the lead. Justique in the center, and Stay and Scam, but it's Uncorked full of run coming for the wire. And Uncorked wins the Royal Heroine in impressive fashion. Justique a good second. They were followed by Stay and Scam, Fuente Ovejuna, and Lakota Spirit. Renegade, almost. And they're off. Hey Brother and Ashcroft are the first 2 out of the gate. It's My House, who hopped at the start, is right up in the thick of it. And Yellow Brick is coming through swiftly along the inside. And Yellow Brick will try to challenge Hey Brother, but Hey Brother's a little quicker. And at the rail, Yellow Brick will be in second. Then It's My House racing in third. They're followed by Ashcroft fourth with 3 lengths to make up. Faustin is the gray racing in between horses. And a 4-wide Smart Mo is only 2 lengths off them as well. It's a compact field. Santo Dios inside, Ultimate Gamble, St. Elmo, and I Don't Get It trails. They have less than 5/8 of a mile to go. And It's My House just in front. Hey Brother is in second. Then Ashcroft, Smart Mo, widest of all. Faustin right next to Yellow Brick, who's on the rail, 3 lengths off the lead. Ultimate Gamble follows that pair. A length and a half to Santo Dios. I Don't Get It, hard ridden, has to respond. And another 2 back to St. Elmo. Rounding the far turn. Hey Brother, It's My House ahead away second. A continued bid from Smart Mo, who moves up on the outside in tandem with Ashcroft, and those 2 go on with it. It's Ashcroft and Smart Mo at the quarter pole. Faustin is the gray coming after them. Inside of him comes Yellow Brick there at the top of the stretch. Smart Mo and Ashcroft are nose to nose at the furlong pole. Ashcroft digging in. Faustin is in third, far outside. Ultimate Gamble. They're coming to the 16th pole, and even Yellow Brick is trying to re-rally along the inside. Mad scramble to the wire. Smart Mo, Ashcroft, Smart Mo, in a ding-dong battle that goes to Ashcroft under Kent DeSormo. Fending off Smart Mo. Faustin, followed by Ultimate Gamble and Yellow Brick. We're in the gate. And they're off. I'm a Joker and Irish Rose are the first two out of the gate. They're joined by Baltic Fire on the outside. And now coming up is Sweet Gem. Sweet Gem takes the lead by the stands. Irish Rose is now a length back second. Then it's Baltic Fire. Den of Iniquity is next. Willa T steadied ever so slightly along the rail. Then it's another length and a half back to Kelly's Out. Runyon County has passed some rivals. Sunset Glory is at the back of the field. Into the first turn, and Sweet Gem sets the pace unopposed up top, with Irish Rose in a good spot second. Another two back to Baltic Fire third, and racing outside of her is Runyon Canyon, a joint third now, putting that head into the third spot. I'm a Joker, Den of Iniquity are next, another two, back to Willa T, followed by Kelly's Out, and a length and a half to Sunset Glory. They come to the half-mile pole, and it's Sweet Gem, the leader by two. Irish Rose continues in second, a length back to Baltic Fire third, Runyon Counting losing a bit of ground, Den of Iniquity on the outside. They're followed by I'm a Joker on the inside, looking for some racing room. 4 lengths off the lead in between rivals at this stage. Willa T, Kelly's Out, and Sunset Glory. Irish Rose makes her move and takes the lead. Now Runyon Canyon is re-rallying into second with a quarter of a mile to go. Irish Rose is the leader with a host of pursuers. Runyon Canyon on the outside in second. In the center of the course, I'm a Joker is starting to finish with some interest. Willa T threading through traffic. Runyon Canyon takes the lead. I'm a Joker in pursuit, and in between horses, Sunset Glory from last. Sunset Glory in between horses. Gets up. What a ride from Reese Pulley to get all the money. I'm a Joker in a tight photo. Then it was Willa T, Runyon Canyon, and Kelly's Out was trying to get into the super high five.
Hi, everybody. It is a glorious Sunday afternoon here at the Great Race Place. So happy that you decided to join us. We've got a good 9-race card. And raise your hand if you've ever done anything consecutively for 48 years. Maybe you've had a job for the last 48 years. Maybe you've been married to the same person for the last 48 years. Maybe you've been to the Dodgers home opener for the last 48 years. But I'd bet 95% of you have never done anything for 48 consecutive years. I certainly haven't, other than being alive on planet Earth. Our seminar guest today He's been to 48 consecutive big caps here at St. Anita. To say that he knows a little bit about Southern California racing would be an understatement. He's a good friend of mine. His name, James Leal. James, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for asking me to be here.
It's great to have you here. Now, 48 runnings of the big cap. You have to have a lot of memories. Or maybe there are one or two that stick out at the top of your mind, James?
Well, the very first one was 1977. Crystal Water won a long stretch duel.
You remember it vividly?
I do, because my dad had bet that horse, and Pink Eye was the jockey, and there was a well-known fact about that horse. He hated to be hit. And about the eighth pole, the other horse started to get away from him, and you could see Lafitte pull the whip and hit him a couple times. You see that horse's ears, and I think Pink Eye remembered and put the whip away and then hand rode him to the wire, and he beat that horse by a nose. It was, I believe it was Follow Rocky was the name of the horse. So that was the very first one. And then the first time I had made a bet for me, which I think at the time was probably $5.
Sure.
When Vigers won a couple of years later, he was about 15 lengths behind at the quarter pole, and my horse was 8 in front and got run down. And that's when I knew this was a tough game. When you're 8 lengths in front, the quarter mile to go and you can't hold on. So a lot of great memories from way back then. And then the more recent ones, the race has changed over the years, but what Game On did about, that was about a decade ago now, three runnings of that and to win them. I mean, those are just impressive feats, to win that kind of a race.
Now, one of the most impressive ones for me and both for you was in 1987. It was a showdown between Ferdinand and Broadbush. Let's watch the replay of that particular big cap. As we watch the replay and listen to Trevor Denman describe the action, not only do I want you to watch the horses racing in action, but take a look at the crowd in the infield and take a look at the parking lot as they exit the clubhouse turn. Those days are great memories. I was here for this running. 1987 renewal of the big cap featuring Ferdinand versus Broadbush.
And away they go in the big cap. Hopeful Word bouncing away well with Bedside Promise. Snow Chief down on the inside of that. And here comes Epidaurus on the grandstand side, now sprinting to the lead. Ferdinand settling down just behind the leaders. Then comes Bruiser and Bozina. Broadbrush is back 7 lengths off the lead, and Nostalgia Star trails by 2.5. Under the wire with 1 lap to go, and Epidaurus, as expected, out there pressuring the pace with Snow Chief right alongside of him. Just in behind that, it's Bedside Promise in a good position third. Hopeful Word giving the leaders 5 lengths start. Here's Ferdinand racing in 5th position. Just behind him comes Bruiser. 3 lengths behind that to Broadbrush. He must be 10 lengths off the lead. Bozina is next, and Nostalgia Star bringing up the rear. Down the back stretch with 5 furlongs to run. Epidaurus on the outside. Snow Chief going along easily at the rail. And Snow Chief now tugging back Valenzuela to the lead. But Gary Stevens and Bill Shoemaker know it, and they're going after it. Bedside Promise, Ferdinand caught 4 wide. But those 4 past the half-mile pole in a straight line. Hopeful Word been asked to run 3.5 off them. And Broadbrush is picking it up on the outside of him. They pass the 3 furlong pole. Snow Chief at the rail. Bedside Promise between horses. Ferdinand on the outside. Broadbrush is looming dangerous in 4th. Hopeful Word is under the whip in 5th. Homeward bound now in the big cap. And Ferdinand's got his ears pricked and going beautifully under Bill Shoemaker on the outside. Broadbrush coming to take him on. Bedside Promise and Snow Chief at the rail. But it's Ferdinand and Broadbrush coming to the wire together in the big cap. Angel Cordero on the outside with Broadbrush. Bill Shoemaker and Ferdinand. Ferdinand or Broadbrush. Just the wire. I believe it's so close.
Shoemaker on Ferdinand, Angel Cordero on Broadbrush. That was a tight photo finish. In my opinion, looking back over that race earlier this morning, Shoe might have given that horse a little bit of an overconfident ride. Mid-stretch, I think he thought he had Broadbrush measured, but nevertheless, Angel Cordero from deep in the back of the pack nailed him right on the wire. You were here for that one. What's your memory of that race?
That was the first time I had ever bet $100 to win on a horse, and it was Ferdinand.
Of course it was.
And, yeah, I mean, again, this is a tough game, but one of the things about Ferdinand, he was one of those horses, if he made the lead too early, he'd start to idle.
Yes.
And so if you recall in the race, Shoemaker moved early because there was a horse, I believe it was Bedside Promise.
Outside of him.
Moved early, Shoemaker went with him, and then I think what you're referring to, I think he's trying to give him a little bit of a breather because he knows this other horse is coming. But he was a game fighter. rider, and he was a Kentucky Derby champion, and I did actually bet him in the Kentucky Derby, but back with the mutual rules back in the day, I think he only paid about $20 here, and I think he was like 30-1 in the actual Derby. So
I wish we had known each other. That was my very first Kentucky Derby. I drove down from Indiana by myself just to go to the Derby. I actually bet Snow Chief in the Derby. We know what happened there.
Yeah.
With Ferdinand up the rail. That was a great story. The Kentucky Derby always has great memories. And of course, we're 6 days away from the running of the Kentucky Derby. Now, we saw the crowd, and of course, that's never going to happen again. I'm happy that we were able to live during that era. But nevertheless, the Big Cap has lost a bit of its luster because of the new races that are now on the schedule. Races like Pegasus World Cup, the Saudi Cup, and the Dubai World Cup. If you were in charge of racing, what would you do to maybe bring back some of the luster for the Big Cap? Is there anything we can do?
I think the first thing you have to take a look at doing is moving the date of when it's run. One of the things that race was fed by, there was a series of races here at Santa Anita in the wintertime, the Malibu, the San Fernando, and the Strube, which was strictly for 4-year-olds.
Leading into the Big Cap.
They were all like spaced out, and the Strube was exactly a month before the Big Cap. So that was usually the first opportunity for 4-year-olds to run against the older horses. And even though the Breeders' Cup came around in '86, the Big Cap still held its place. It wasn't until the Dubai races and those international races it showed up on the scene to really dent it. But what I would probably take a look at doing, I would probably use the Big Cap and the as a prep for those races. So I might move it into January. I understand we have the Pegasus race too, but I would look at moving it because obviously the beginning of March, we're losing so many of the top horses, and obviously the purses help. So if you have it $1 million race, where you're going to get the $1 million, I don't know. I have a few bucks I'll chip in, but the status of the race needs to be maintained with money and placing on the calendar probably.
I agree with James. I'd be more aggressive. I'd actually move it to opening day. It'd be the perfect bridge between the Breeders' Cup Classic and the the Pegasus World Cup. Let's add in a bonus as well for a runner that can sweep all 3 races. It might bring back some of the luster. Who knows? We're certainly game for trying new things in our industry, or at least we should be. We're going to take a quick break, find out who the early changes are on today's 9-race card. When we come back, we're going to find out who James likes. Stay tuned, everybody. Frank Miramati up next with the scratches.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, the turf firm, rail on the turf at 10 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, scratch number 4, Sweet Layla Ray. In the second, number 1, Violet Storm, make the jockey Tiago Pereira. Race 2, number 1, Tiago Pereira. No scratches or jockey changes in the third. There are no changes in the fourth, start of the pick 6. In the fifth, we kick off the late pick 5 and $3 all-turf pick 3. 6 has a blinker note, start of the late pick 4. There are no changes in the 7th race. The 8th will start the golden hour pick 4, 1 blinker note. And in the 9th, scratch number 3, Pace Lane. Scratch number 7, Queen Gervin. Overweights, number 9, Love Alive 1 over. 10, Charm Your World 2 pounds over. 11, Upcharge 2 pounds over. 12, You're in Trouble will run and carries 1 pound over. And then scratch number 14, Tahini. So scratch 3, 7, and 14 out of the 9th. Enjoy your day here at Santa Anita Park. Post time for the opener is in 58 minutes. At 1 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday, we offer the Coast to Coast Pick 5, combining races from Santa Anita Park and Gulfstream Park with a player-friendly 15% takeout. It's a $1 minimum wager. This afternoon, it starts with Gulfstream's 8th in about an hour and 48 minutes at 1:50 Pacific. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest today is James Leal.
Welcome back. We're shooting the breeze with horse player James Leal. He's been to 48 consecutive big caps. He's here almost on an everyday basis. He's got a real job, so most Fridays he's not here, but he's a weekend warrior. He's here every day. He loves San Anita. And James, before we take a look at today's 9-race card, I see you got a freshly minted racing form in front of you, as you do every race day. What type of handicapper are you? Do you look at Beyer speed figures? Do you kind of look at the human connections? Just give us a glimpse into how you handicap a card.
Biggest thing for me is replays.
Okay.
So and that's one of the keys, right? So if you don't have a lot of time for replays, you're really compromised as trying to handicap. So I've tried to use different tools that will help me with that. So Trip Note Pros has a program that you can, they do a lot of the work for you. And I've talked to the gentleman, Benny South Street, who does these, and he'll put a comment about it. And if I disagree with it, that'll get me to go back and watch a replay again, a second time, third time. Sometimes they see things that I don't. So it's always good to have another set of eyes on it. But that's the key thing I use is replays and a racing
And
form.
by the way, you've got a photographic memory, which is a blessing, because I don't. I keep notes in DRF Formulator, which is how I'm able to recall a race. But you can actually look in the racing form and recall a race pretty quickly without even looking at the replay.
Yes, very much so. And that's one of the advantages of sticking to this circuit. I'm not one of those who goes playing all across the country. You talked about the Derby in 6 days. I could care less about the Derby. I got 9 races in front of me today.
Sure.
Right.
Some more next weekend.
Exactly. So the fact that I can open up a form, and if these horses have been running here, I have a pretty good chance I've looked at those replays and I'll use it as a refresher. I will often one of the more frustrating things about doing that is when you have a big field and you miss it. 2 of the horses might be in the same race and you have to go back and watch it again. So you're watching the same replay, but it gives you an opportunity to kind of pick up things that you might have missed the first time. But the replays are key for me. If I don't watch replays, it's really hard for me to be successful.
What about invaders, either from Golden Gate or maybe from overseas or first-time starters? How do you kind of evaluate those if you want to play multi-race exotics?
Human connections is a big key. I'll look at workout reports, breeding. From Northern California, I will watch replays of those horses coming in. I'm not necessarily looking to see how whether they won or not. Just looking to see their action. Do they have speed? Are they being asked for speed? I'm not I don't have a lot of confidence in the clocking system in horse racing, because the run-ups, certain tracks have, sometimes you're watching a
timer
race.
Accuracy.
Yeah, you'll see a horse, they'll show that they went 50 to the half, and you're looking at them like all 3 of the pace horses ran off the board, so that wasn't a correct fraction. So I try not to rely solely on times. I'll use it as a guide, but I let my eyes tell me what I'm doing.
Trust your eyes, which I tell everybody is the most important thing, whether it's watching a race or looking at the horses in the paddock. Always trust your eyes. Your eyes aren't going to lie to you. Other things might lie to you, not because it's intentional, but because of inaccuracies. But your eyes are always the best barometer when you're handicapping a race.
Very much so. And the one thing I have to be careful with, and I think it's just human nature, there's certain connections you're not lucky with. So I will fade those horses.
I know a lot of other players that have that same sort of phobia.
Yeah, and so it's just so many times you stood next to me when I'm alive for something, and I won't mention his name, but this one trainer just seems to beat me when
he wins when you're not on him, and he loses when you're on him.
And everybody has those.
Yeah, of course.
But you have to be careful not to allow that to influence your final decisions.
Speaking of final decisions, we want to know your final decision on all 9 races today. So let's kick things off in race number 1, James. We're going 1 mile on the turf course for fillies and mares. The rails today on the turf course are at 10 feet. Also, race 1, of course, begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. There is one scratch. Scratch the 4 leaves us with a field of 8. The lukewarm morning line favorite, a daughter of Clubhouse Ride number 6, Abatha from the Antonio Garcia barn, is 7-2 on the morning line. A lot of other runners are 4-1 in the field. Kind of a bit of a grab bag. Who'd you like and why?
Well, on the replays, the 6 horse stands out to me. I didn't think she would be 7-2 as she was on the morning line. This filly, if you take out the last race, which was run on dirt, they have that advantage of trying to win that same condition from turf to dirt.
For Calbreds.
Yeah, so that's what they tried with her, and she just didn't have the same kick that day. But if you look at her last 3 grass races, she really, to me, has shown you that she wants to do this as a mile on the grass is going to be right up her alley. And I don't see any reason why she shouldn't be favored in this race and win, because there is a lot of pace in this race, and she can sit and come from off of it.
One of the pace setters, James, might be number 2, Gray's My Heart, who we can see as your second selection. Do you think she's going to show speed from the inside post, or why do you like her?
I think she's going to sit the pocket. I think she'll be the first one right behind the speed. I think the one horse, this is where you never know what the jockeys are going to do. The one horse should be sent from the rail.
Going sprint to route.
Right. And the 3 horse, that leaving that horse off is dangerous for me because she won, even though she had a good trip on the lead last time, her stride down the stretch showed me that maybe she's improving a lot. So leaving her out concerns me. But the fact that she won so easily last time on the pace, and I don't think she's going to get that kind of pace scenario today. That's why I've chosen her. I did not choose her.
But she's a main contender.
Yes, she is.
And number 3, Ankara, who James has been talking about, you can see, excuse me, has really improved 2 races back since taking the blinkers off. A good second, and then in the winner's circle last time out, as James mentioned. Let's turn the page, James. James, take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're sprinting 7 furlongs in the main track for fillies and mares. $20,000 of the claiming tag. Non-winners of 3 races lifetime. Make the jockey on number 1, Violet Storm, Tiago Pereira. We've got, as I mentioned, a field of 5. Frazzled returning off the long layoff is the 7-5 morning line favorite. Richie Baltus has 3 wins from 5 layoff horses already this meet. Is he going to add to his win total here?
Well, she looks like she's tough on paper, but the layoff is obviously something to overcome. Also, a big key to this race is the fact that she's protected. She can't be claimed out of this race.
Because of the long layoff.
Correct. Now, her last race obviously stands out on her form, and you could look at it in multiple ways. Was it her first race on dirt? Was it the drop in class? Was it the lesser company? Because 16 non-winners of 2 life at Del Mar is certainly tougher than it is at Los Al. So I don't know what it was that woke her up. I don't like the fact she was sidelined after that. But the rest of the field, it just kind of looks like they're about the same horse. And she looks like she just might be the right one because of the protected claim. Now, I'm not going to tell you to go better because she's going to be probably 3 to 5 in a 5-horse field. But on top, she's probably the horse I would play. And
I'm sorry, you do give a little love, though, to Violet Storm, who is a bit of a price at 4 to 1. You gave her preference over DeJoria, who's the second favorite in the race. Why do you like Violet Storm?
4 to 1 versus 8 to 5.
Exactly.
Right. So DeJoria just won this the 16 non-winners of 2 life, and the Violet Storm won the same condition a couple of months back. So they basically won the same condition, both in blowout fashion. DeJoria looked like she was going nowhere last time on the turn, and then she hit another gear and took off. I don't know if that was a visual, and this is where the time people who use timing in races could educate me as far as did she really accelerate that final quarter, or was it everybody else was stopping?
If you look at the internal fractions, courtesy of DRF Formulator, she was kind of staggering home. 26.08 was her final come-home time. So certainly, visually, it might have been an optical illusion, which is why you like number 1, Violet Storm, going turf to dirt, for trainer Steve Knapp. Race number 3, we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. It's for Calbred 3-year-olds. It's an allowance optional claiming race. We've got a field of 8. Number 8, Surrounded by Angels, is a first-time gelding. Number 3, Known Idea, who is putting blinkers on for trainer John Sadler, is the 5 to 2 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 3, James.
I thought this was a very competitive race for a number of different reasons, but the horse I landed on was the 4 Beer Money.
Not because of the name.
No, and you know I'm not a beer drinker either, so I have more money to gamble. But this filly has been tried on the turf for the last 6 times, but 2 of them got rained off onto the main track, so it kind of muddles up her form a little bit.
Sure.
But the other thing, if you look at her, she ran her last 4 races at Santa Anita. They were 2 weeks apart, and this is the first time she's had over a month off, and so it gives her a little bit of time. I think her last race was really poor, and I think maybe they just decided we better give her a little bit more time in between races.
They brought her back in 9 days.
Yeah. So my idea here is Edwin Maldonado, who we've known, he's a speed rider. He's going to send this filly to the lead. There's other speed in here, but I just think that's this filly's best chance to, or this colt's best chance to win. And so I'm going with him. He's 5 to 1. I believe the 3-horse Known Idea is going to be bet down off of that last race. And so again, 5 to 1 is a lot more attractive to me than 5 to 2.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts as to why you like Refocus number 7 in race 3 as well, who you've got second on the grid.
The reason was because this horse is showing to me that he doesn't want to really run on dirt. And so it's a first-time turf angle. The horse won 2 back on the dirt, but I didn't think that was a very good race. There wasn't a lot in that race. It was a 5-horse field. And this horse always shows me that he's close, but I'm just guessing that the turf is going to move him up. And he got a great post. So if the 4 does go and he gets cooked by the 3, that this horse might be in the perfect spot. The other horse that I didn't put on because you can only use 2 is the 1 horse. I love the horse that got claimed. Phil D'Amato, learned under one of the best claiming trainers we've ever had here.
He sure did, Mike Mitchell.
Right. So this is not going to surprise me at all if this horse really jumps up off the page. And his last work, he worked with Easter, who's one of the top grass horses.
Stakes winner here in Southern California.
So it's not going to surprise me if this horse jumps up. He will be on my multiple race tickets, but for purposes of this seminar, I put the 4 horse on top.
Number 1, Final Storm. There were 4 claims in last time for him, and you can see it looks like the connections, Little Red Feather and the aforementioned trainer Phil D'Amato had a plan, putting this horse, the Son of Blame, on turf. They drew the rail. They got Kyle Frey, who I believe won 3 races yesterday, and Refocus, who James was talking about earlier, who's his second selection of the race. One of the interesting angles I thought he might mention on Refocus is the horse re-adds Lasix. His only career, I should say, his second career victory came with the addition of Lasix. Now Lasix goes back on. It's not first time Lasix, so you kind of have to hunt and peck through the racing form to pick up those nuggets, but sometimes they can certainly pay dividends. Race number 4 begins the $1 pick 6. Did you see the results for yesterday's pick 6? 3 winning tickets, each worth in excess of $28,000. Congratulations to those 3 skilled ticket holders. So we start fresh today in race number 4, going 1 mile on the main track for fillies and mares. $10,000 is the claiming tag. Voulin on the bottom from the George Papadroma barn, whose barn is also heating up, is 9-5 on the morning line with Ricky Gonzalez in the saddle. What are your thoughts on race 4, James?
Well, this being the start of the pick 6, I think this is the most challenging race on the card because none of these horses are
win machines.
Yeah, we'll say that. And I think the track record is safe after this race. But because if you look
set by Ruhlman, by the way, 133-4 on the main track way back in 1989. I think I was here for that performance.
In 1990, you won the Big Cap.
You sure did. You were there for that. That's for sure.
Absolutely. From the 10 hole. Nobody thought he could get him on the quarter. Sure did. Go watch that race.
Useless racetrack trivia.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't have him that day either. But anyhow, regarding this race, I was looking for any angle I could find. And interesting nugget, the 3-horse Zizix, he's 1 for 15 lifetime, and I had him in the only race he won. So he was 20-something to 1 that day. But the horse I landed on was the 6 horse with no conviction. He did win at this distance back in December down at Del Mar. His last 2 races have been going short. I have no conviction in this horse. The note I wrote to myself is spread as much as possible, as much as you can afford in here. The 2 horses never won on the dirt. He's the morning line favorite or second choice. And the 4 horse, who's the other horse that's well fancy in the morning line, he's been beaten by 33 lengths in his last 2 starts. So I just, good luck getting through this race. But for me, it's the 6 and the 2.
Chaos should be stamped on top of the program for race number 4 because that's what it looks like on paper. That's for sure. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins the $3 all turf pick 3. And naturally, we're on the turf course. 1 mile the distance. It's an allowance optional claiming race for non-winners of 2 other than. We've got a field of 7. Number 3, Dandy Man Shines from the Jeff Mullins barn, dropping out of the Frankie Kilrow mile, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, James, wanted to show a replay that 3 of these runners exit. The runners that we're about to watch are number 1, Hula Candy, as well as number 4, Crosby Beach, as well as number 6, Rayquist. The runners I want you to watch primarily are Hula Candy. In this particular replay we're about to watch, he'll be wearing saddle cloth number 8, and then also number 4, Crosby Beach in today's 5th race will break from the rail post position. They'll be 2nd and 3rd going into the far turn, so they'll be easy to watch. So let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action and watch the last performance for both Hula Candy and Crosby Beach back on March 24th.
Loaded quickly. And they're off. Crosby Beach out alertly, so is Carmelita's Man in the center, but it's a very even field, passing the stands the first time as Hula's Candy now emerges with a narrow advantage. Standing O goes with him in 2nd, and Crosby Beach gets a nice spot in 3rd. They're followed by the gray, Jimmy Blue Jeans, 5 off the pace in 4th. Rayquist is next, Carmelita's Man, Zalamo 2nd to last, and Kafkin Peak, the early trailer. Around the first turn, and Standing O goes on. Opens up 3 lengths now on Hula Candy 2nd. Then Crosby Beach and Juan Hernandez 3rd. Followed by Jimmy Blue Jeans, 7 lengths off the leader now. Rayquist, Carmelita's Man, Zalamo, and another length back to Kafkin Peak. Heading toward the half-mile pole, and it's Standing O, leading by 2. Hula Candy in second, and still Crosby Beach bides his time in third. Rayquist inches forward. Jimmy Blue Jeans is now in fifth. He's joined by both Carmelita's Man and Zalamo, and another 2 to Cathkin Peak. Into the turn, and Standing O and Antonio Fresu with a 2-length lead. Crosby Beach is now coming after him on the outside of Hula Candy. Those two moving together, followed by Jimmy Blue Jeans, Rayquist, Carmelita's Man, hard ridden, not responding. Zalamo in the blue down at the rail, and Cathkin Peak starts to rally widest of all there at the top of the stretch, and it's Standing O with a 2-length advantage. Crosby Beach side by side with Hula Candy, and Cathkin Peak continues to close ground in the center of the race course. Coming to the 16th pole, and Cathkin Peak is absolutely flying. Here is the line. Cathkin Peak, Humberto Rispoli, fresh off his 2000 and 2001 wins at Turfway, comes back to Santa Anita Park with a dramatic photo finish W.
Crosby Beach and Hula Candy, James, basically finished second and third in that race that we just watched. Hula Candy has 2 lifetime wins. Both of them came over this turf course. Crosby Beach in for the $80,000 tag because he's already won this condition. This is a really good competitive race. Did you like the runners in that replay, or are you looking elsewhere?
No, those are actually the top 2 horses that I liked in this race. Crosby Beach, for the main reason, Peter Miller claimed this horse 2 back, and I like Peter Miller with horses that he claims that are older. You know, they have their quirks. He figures them out, and he gets them good, and he usually can keep them good. And this horse, I thought, ran a really dynamite race last time. Drops back in for the 80 tag today, and I think Crosby Beach is going to have a pace advantage in this field. It doesn't appear to be a lot of pace, and I think he is going to have a pace advantage with Hernandez on top aboard today. And then the other horse was the one horse that you just showed, Hula Candy. I thought he ran a really dynamite race too, and to me, I think these are going to be the horses that are sitting first, second, most of the way around the track. The favorite in the race, Dandy Man Shines, I left him out just strictly for one reason. He's 0 for 6 on this turf course. Both of his wins came at Del Mar on their turf course. This horse has been facing much better, but at the same time, if they show you that they don't like a turf course, I'm not going to keep arguing with them. I'll just pick against them.
Hula Candy, if you have the daily racing form in front of you, you can see in his last 6 consecutive races, he has a good ascending Beyer speed figure pattern. He's a 6-year-old with only 9 lifetime starts, so there's still plenty of upside for him. I agree with James at 8-1. Hula Candy probably is a must-use on all multi-race exotics. Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 6. Begins the 50-cent late pick 4 sequence. We're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. $32,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Number 6, Kahuna Magic, is a first-time gelding, the morning line favorite down on the rail. Second off the claim for trainer Mark Ladd is number 1, Crypto Craze, 9-5 on the morning line, has plenty of speed. Do you expect to see him at the wire first?
No, I don't. This horse I know had a very dominating win first time out, and he was claimed out of that race. Mark Ladd tried to step him up into winners, non-winners of 1, first time out. Horse showed speed and stopped. Now, it was a very hot pace that day, and I don't think he's going to have that same kind of pace. I just don't like when horses stop that bad. First time they get any kind of a pressure, even though he was going fast. So if he wins, he's going to beat me, but
at a short price.
Yeah, he's going to be a short price. The horse I'm taking is Motorcade, who this is the old jump. You know, he basically won at the same level, didn't have as fast of a time, but he's now getting the double jump up in class off the claim.
That's a positive sign from the barn.
It is. And Bob Hess, if DeSormo was on the horse, it would really tell me they meant go, because they've done that angle a number of times.
Including yesterday.
Exactly. But in this case, Rispoli, I think he's going to sit second right outside of him. I don't think anybody's fast enough to run with the one early, but to me, it's Motorcade. The horse I picked second, and this is strictly I'm throwing a dart here, is the 6-horse Kahuna Magic. Second time out, the horse broke its maiden and then has been dismal in the 2 races followed. It got the ultimate equipment change, which I know would make me run faster if I had that same problem. But I'm thinking first time back off of the latest layoff has been a year layoff. This horse will probably run the fastest he's ever done. And if it's not today, it'll probably be never.
And he's realistically placed, right? In for $32,000 is a 6-year-old with just 4 lifetime starts. Gets Kyle Frey 10-1 on the morning line, maybe small field, big price. Who knows? But like you said, it's a guessing game, and one advantage we have, maybe not for multi-race exotic purposes, but for win betting and other purposes, is to take a look at him in the paddock and see how he's acting and see what he looks like.
Absolutely.
Race number 7, we're going 2 turns on the turf course, 1 mile the distance. It's for 3-year-old Calbreds, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. A good field of 9. Number 6, Curlin's Chaos, who is happy to see Stronghold not in this race, losing to it in the last 2 times, is the 3-1 morning line favorite. He's 1-for-1 on turf, back on turf, slam dunk, or looking elsewhere?
I'm looking elsewhere. I went to the 5-horse Takes 3. This horse broke his maiden last time out, but the race before that, he had also broken his maiden. And much to the chagrin of a lot of gamblers that I know, he was disqualified out of that first time. Controversial call, but it is what it is. It happens. And what I liked about him is the fact he came back and he won again. A lot of times you'll see a horse get disqualified out of a win. They come back the next time and don't reproduce it. He did. And the fact that he is a 3-year-old, sometimes they start getting good once the light bulb comes on in their head, right? And they paid a lot of money for this horse, so he's obviously expected to be a decent sort. So I'm taking that he's improving, and I'm just going to follow him right up the ladder.
And I'm sorry for interrupting, James. Armando Ayuso is a jockey to certainly pay attention to. Not only is he riding here for the 3-day weekends at San Diego, but he's plying his trade over at Turf Paradise as well. His jockey agent, former trainer Renee Amesco, is doing a very good job. And when he and Pipey team up, they hit the winner's circle quite often.
Yes. And I got turned on to this kid when he first came to the country, and he struggled to get mounts here, and he went up north. He did a smart thing, went up north and really made a name for himself before he came back down. So I'm really happy to see him doing well.
I'm sorry, go ahead. You were going to talk about your second pick?
Yeah, and it was the 6, Curlin's Chaos. I thought the horse's maiden victory was very impressive. I don't blame the connections for trying him on dirt a couple of times, but back to what he showed that he likes to do. So to me, it's just the 5 and the 6, and if I get beat, that's what I'm going down with.
And Curlin's Chaos, another example of Lasix back on, not first time Lasix, but Lasix back on. Obviously, in graded stakes competition, he could not use Lasix, but he can today. Race number 8 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. And we kick things off in race number 8 at Santa Anita, sprinting 7 furlongs in the main track for Calbred, fillies and mares, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than a field of 6. Number 3, Uncontrollable, who is a bit pace dependent, is the 8-5 morning line favorite. At least my first cursory glance of the race, James, I didn't see a whole lot of pace to flatter her late kick. How'd you see the race?
Same exact thing. But the one thing I wanted to point out in this race, the 3-horse Uncontrollable is 1 for 10 lifetime. There's 3 horses in here who've won 6 races, 9 races, and 5 races. That is a huge difference, right? So I wound up going on the 2 Hector Palma horses. The 6-horse Tizzy Twister, again, was it a wake-up last time? Did she have the perfect setup? Was she just feeling good that day? I don't know, but they're going 7 furlongs. She's probably going to be in a great position down the backside, stalking the pace. I expect her to run really well. And then the other horse, the 1 horse, Wish They All Could Be, was claimed in February by Hector Palma. It's had a layoff. She's been training well. She comes back down on the rail. Again, anytime you have a race where you have a 6-time winner, a 5-time winner, and a 9-time winner, and they're and the favorite is a 1 for 10 horse, I'm going to line up to play that all day long. So I'm 6-1 in this race.
I mentioned race 8 is the kickoff for the Golden Hour Pick 4, James. We've talked a lot about handicapping, where we haven't talked about wagering. I know you like you're very active in tournaments, but besides playing in tournaments, what type of player are you? Do you like to play the pick 6? You play the old-fashioned daily double, just a straight old win bet? Like, kind of how do you attack the races financially?
Win bets, doubles, and the pick 4s, pick 5s, and actually I really like this all turf pick 3. The $3 pick 3. I like the denomination of it. I like the fact that it's all grass, and I like the fact that it's a bet that you can make a nice score on if you could just find one price.
And the $3 denomination is why the payout is so good. It's hard to spread when you have to play a $3 minimum wager.
Very much so. Yeah, very much so. Yesterday I paid $400, and I thought there were 2 very logical winners in the whole thing. So
we close out the day and we close out the week in race number 9. Keep in mind, racing resumes next weekend. Friday, Kentucky Oaks Day here at Santa Anita. We'll have 8 races with a 1:00 p.m. Pacific time first post. But first things first, race number 9 begins the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double. Similar concept. Last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. And we're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weight, fillies and mares. A couple of scratches here. Scratch 3, 7, and 14. That means 2 of the also eligibles, 12 and 13, will run and will compete in the race. Take note that the morning line favorite is number 13, Not a Sinner, from the Simon Callahan barn. 5-2 on the morning line. This is a really good betting race to close out the day and the week, James.
It is. You can go a number of different ways in this race. One of the comments about the 4-horse was my top selection in the race. Gets a positive jockey change. And I don't want to denigrate anybody, but this Frankie Dettori riding here right now is like LeBron going down to the YMCA. He is just so talented, and you put him on grass and he's got a big advantage if he's on a live horse. And if you go back to yesterday's feature race on the grass, I mean, he was an absolute clinic. Just stayed on the inside, let everybody go outside. He shot right up the rail and won. So whenever you're in a grass race and you have a choice between Frankie Dettori and a lot of these other jocks, you got to upgrade that horse's chances. He's been working well. He didn't run bad first time at Del Mar, going 5 furlongs. The other horse that I have a real sentimental place in my heart for is the 10-horse Charm Your World. The fact that this is a full brother to a Santa Anita Derby winner is
Rock Your World.
Yeah, a full sister, I should say. But it's Ron McAnally, the trainer. I mean, he was one of the best trainers we've ever seen walk through these grounds. And, he had John Henry, a 2-time winner of the Big Cap. But to see him still out here, still training. He got a win, I think it was a week ago. Or maybe it was Friday. I can't remember what day it was.
Sure did. Race 3 on the turf sprinting.
Yeah. So I'm always rooting for guys like him. There's not too many of them left. So I'm going to use the 4 and 10 and hope for the best in there. But this race is wide open.
Another old school trainer in the race. In race number 9 is number 9, Love Alive. Neil Drysdale, Ron McAnally. Imagine the stories that they could share throughout their training career. It's a privilege to have them and Frankie Dettori here in Southern California. We're very blessed to have not only jockey and trainer talent here on the grounds of Santa Anita. James, you've seen 48 consecutive big caps. I hope we run 48 more big caps, and I hope you're here for all 48 of those as well.
I would take the under on me being here for 48 more.
But nevertheless, I hope you make as many as you possibly can. Thanks so much for your time and insight today. Really appreciate it. Good luck not only today, but for the rest of the year going
Thanks
forward.
for having me, Tom.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. Well, keep in mind, we'll hear from Frank Miramati updating us with any changes. Hope you have a great afternoon, and good luck.